Welcome, guys, to the first episode of the Hardwood Podcast. We're going to talk about the All-Star Weekend first. I'm Caleb Wiley.
I'm Shane Fricke. Thank you guys for listening.
All right, so we get right into it. Friday was the first day of the All-Star Weekend. We had the celebrity game and then the Rising Stars Challenge right after that. Let's get into the celebrity game first. I don't even know who won MVP for that game.
Yeah, the celebrity game was this year. It just seemed like it wasn't as spectacular. They didn't really have anybody, really big. Like they have had Kevin Hart a lot of times who's been able to attract fans because he's won 4 times MVPs. But this year I just feel like they didn't do much. They had Ronnie 2K who missed a wide open layup, hit it off the bottom of the backboard.
They had Quavo and like Bad Bunny and all these other artists, but I know the artists that we all want to see are the artists that we want to see is like J. Cole, like Drake, celebrities that will actually get the name of the celebrity all-star, the brand of that game out to the public and make it more known. And you're able to brand it more and put it out in commercials when you have big names like Drake or J. Cole or even someone like Adam Sandler that could actually play some ball. So I would like to see celebrities like that, not Ronnie 2K.
Yeah, and another thing is you see all these pickup games like over the summer of stuff, and it's like this was such a stacked pickup game. It had Drake, it had J. Cole, it had Justin Bieber and all that stuff. It's like, why can't you get that for this massive game that's going to be nationally televised?
I know you have enough money for it too.
And it's not like, I get it if it was the NFL, because I know a lot of celebrities don't really like the NFL as much with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, but celebrities love the NBA. Yeah. Everybody loves the NBA. And then a celebrity also game idea that I had, which I thought would be really good, was to do like an athlete one, because we know like athletic players like football players, basketball players, anything, athletic players are athletes. So if they're good at football, they're probably going to translate over and be good at basketball. So I would have loved to see, just 1 year just do all NFL players if you can. I know that they might not want to play because they might not want to get injured like the Pro Bowl, but it might be, a little bit more low key, not as fast, but it would be so cool just to see players like Odell Beckham Jr. and stuff like that. We see them throwing down dunks all the time. It'd be crazy to see them in an All-Star
Or even
game.
just not all football players, but at least a couple. A few. Like you said, Odell is pretty good at basketball. Some big name like Pat Mahomes. I know he's pretty good at basketball too. He played in high school.
He's probably still drunk though.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, Travis Kelce. All these players I know that are able to play basketball. That would be fun to watch. Just a few celebrities, football players. Why not some soccer players or something. Something to keep me excited for this game. Not Ronnie 2K, like I said before. I don't want to see him.
Yeah, and so that's about all we need to talk about the celebrity game because it really wasn't that impactful.
Yeah.
So later that night, we had the Rising Stars Challenge, or Rising Stars game. That game was obviously better. Eric Pascal, I'm a Warriors fan. Eric Pascal had a really good game. And the thing I like about that game so much, and we don't really see that in any other sport, is you can kind of see the future and the really good players like Luka and Trey and how they are just so much better than the rest that they just like to just mess around and have fun in those games. But it's still such a fun atmosphere, but the younger players still want to be competitive to put on a national stage. So I think that is one of the best games of where there's a sense of competitiveness, but there's also a sense of crazy shots and just trying to, embarrass the other player in a fun way.
Yeah, like you said, I think there's a clear gap, especially in these rookie star challenges, Rising Star challenges. I do think there's a clear gap in between like the stars and the good players and players that would just be role players for the whole life. Like you said, Luka, Trey, even Zion, those are going to be stars in the league. Then you have people like Eric Pascal, like you said. You have people like, Miles Bridges, who are going to be good players in the NBA, but not stars. But I think, like you said, that challenge is a really good indicator of who's going to be a star and who's not. And it's just the way it is. Luka hit a half-court shot to end a quarter, and it was like, wow, it's Luka, it's a star. So
and then we saw Trey Young, Luka hit it, and Trey Young was like right in his face, and they kind of like dapped each other up afterwards. And then we saw in the All-Star game, Trey Young hit a half-court shot, so that was something cool to watch. And then just to kind of talk about the game a little bit, Miles Bridges won MVP. Yeah. He had a great game of just throwing down some crazy dunks.
They kind of had a dunk contest at the end.
Yeah, they had Zion missed both his, but we don't need to talk about that. But another thing why I think that game is so important is because you're bringing these younger players like an Eric Pascal, like a Miles Bridges, who are good, but they're obviously not super good, and you're letting them get used to the all-star kind of what it feels like to be an all-star. Yeah. They're in a room with either, during the Rising Star practice and stuff, they're in a room with a lot of players their same age. Some of them are super good and have been in the league for a couple of years, so they can ask them questions about how they've, dealt with all this stardom. And then when you walk around, you're just walking around the locker room, you see players like LeBron James and stuff that you can talk about there. So I think the Rising Star Challenge is crazy. I think that I think it's really good, but it's the only sport that you can really do it in because football, we already know Pro Bowl, nobody tries. So no one's going to try on the Rising Stars. Baseball, like I just don't feel like people will care as much as basketball.
There's not enough impacting rookies in any other league, or at least football. You can say there's impacting rookies, but they're not gonna just put a bunch of rookies out there or like sophomore players out there, to showcase their skill. And baseball, there's not enough impacting rookies or sophomores out there that you are able to put out there. Like obviously there are exceptions, like Judge. Or like with Mookie Betts when he first came in the league, or Cody Bellinger when he went in his rookie year. Those are exceptions. Most of the time, rookies take their time to do well.
Yeah, and they also, they're older because they have to spend all this time in the farm leagues and stuff in baseball. But now to go to Saturday, to quickly tap on all the things that happened on Saturday. Skills competition, it was good. I was surprised that it was two big men in the end. Bam won it, and so I like that because, skills competition, when you think about it, you're going to think, oh, well, it's going to be the guards. It's going to be, the guard that can get around the thing and make the pass and make the three. But this shows just how revolutionized the game is and how if you want to be a big in this league like Bam is, like Sabonis is, you have to be good at everything. You have to be good at dribbling, shooting, all that.
Like you said, two big men in the finals. Yeah, Sabonis and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo hit a few threes. You have to hit a couple threes. You have to make passes just like guards. And Bam did it. And if he can hit threes like he did, the Heat are going to be scary. Because if he's able to shoot like he was and able to, ball handle and facilitate like he was able to do in the skills challenge, he's going to be pretty good for the Heat. But yeah, it's so nice and refreshing seeing two big men in the finals of a skills challenge, a guard skills challenge. That's refreshing to see.
And you think about it, 20 years from now, there is no big man in the league that would be able to even compete with any of the big men now because how revolutionized the game is. And then to move on, 3-point contest. That, again, was, another big highlight. How did you feel about the new 3-point shot and the new times and stuff like that?
I liked it. I liked the fact that they had a new 3-point shot they put in the wing, but it was like it would be a 4-pointer if they put a 4-pointer in. It was like 30 feet deep, and I like it because it shows not only can you make threes, but it shows your range. That Curry range that everybody talks about. I think that's a good addition to the 3-point shootout. And obviously, we know Buddy Hield won it. He went off. He won it off of you would say a game winner on the last shot, and he won. I think he scored 28, and then Devin Booker scored 27.
Yeah, so that was a crazy shot or crazy ending. That's what the NBA wants. And the people complain a little bit about it because it messes with records, and they're like, well, now everybody's gonna be blowing out Bird's magical one where he put the finger up, but the times are changing. These are kind of shots that makes it more exciting. And so I thought it was good. Buddy won it. I wasn't really expecting Buddy to win it, but, it's nice for him. I'm pretty sure he just got demoted to the bench by the Kings a week ago, too. So it's nice for him to show, hey, you guys, you paid me big bucks in the offseason. Don't put me on the bench. I'm a great shooter. And then later in the night, we had, again, the star of Saturday night, the dunk contest, which, again, was super good. It's been mediocre the past couple years
ever since that Gordon Levine dunk contest. It's been so mediocre, even below mediocre. It's been very underwhelming. But now with Derrick Jones Jr. and Aaron Gordon going at it, they had two high flyers going at it, and it was such a good thing to watch, such a fun thing to watch. It was kind of because Derrick Jones Jr. kind of glides in the air like Zach LaVine, and Aaron Gordon was like Aaron Gordon when he was a few years back. So it was such a fun thing to watch. They were going back and forth. There was a dunk-off.
And then what I liked about this one compared to the past years is this one wasn't as gimmicky once it got to the final round. We saw Dwight Howard did the Kobe tribute, which was nice. Yeah. And we saw Pat Connaughton he dressed up as the white man can't jump thing. But after the first round, it wasn't gimmicky anymore, and that's what I like because it's just finding ways to find new dunks, and it's crazy that they can keep finding new dunks. And
being innovative, yeah.
Did you think that Aaron Gordon was snubbed, or do you think that the right winner was chosen?
I do think before with the Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon dunk contest, I do not think he was snubbed. I do think Aaron Gordon had the best dunk of the night, but I do think consistency, Zach LaVine had the better dunks. But I think this time, 2020, I do think Aaron Gordon was robbed. I think he dunked over 7'5", 7'4", whatever you want to say, Taco Fall. I mean, I get it. He touched him on the way down, but he clearly...
But he's 7'4".
Yeah, he's 7'5", 7'4". If he was 7'1" or 7'2", it would be a clean jump over him. But he's 7'4". Oh, well, he touched him on the way down. That's a 50.
Yeah, and so this is the thing that I thought about. Rewatching, I was like, Derrick Jones Jr., in my opinion, did have the better dunks. But when you look at it, I don't know how you could give him 47 for what he did with the Taco Falls. And
yeah.
I guess they were saying that they meant to be a tie. But somebody messed up their score. But like he meant to win that one. That jumping over Taco Fall, he talked about it a little bit. Taco Fall has been such a star. He's so tall, and you have to win that one.
Yeah, I think Aaron Gordon definitely got robbed.
Okay, and then moving on to Sunday, which is the big thing of All-Star Weekend, obviously the All-Star Game.
Yeah.
The new format, a lot of people were skeptical, turned out to work out really well with the 24 points at the end because it allowed 3 quarters of just fun, high-flying scoring, and then it allowed the fourth quarter of, really hard defense. And the other thing I really liked about it was the paying whatever team won the quarter to the schools, because at the end of every quarter, I think it really picked up in the third quarter, is when at the end of the quarter, since the kids that were in the charity were so into it, they treated it like the end of a game. They were fouling to try to win it. So I liked that because it gives more crunch time moment with these big stars. And then the end of the game, it was good. I don't like how it ended on a free throw, but it was still a good game.
Yeah, I think the target score is definitely a new look for the All-Star Game. I do think they probably should adapt it. And obviously they changed the All-Star MVP, the name of it, to the Kobe All-Star MVP Award, which I think is very fitting because he has the most All-Star MVPs in NBA history. But the target score, the adding 24 to the team that has the most points, that's your target score. If you score that much, you win the game. I like that so much. I think they should really adapt it because you really saw in the fourth quarter, they tried their hardest the whole quarter because it's not timed. You can't just run the clock out. You have to try your hardest for the whole quarter.
Yeah, and one last thing I'd like to mention before we leave is Kawhi Leonard did win MVP, and LeBron James, if you rewatch it, LeBron James did choke in the end of that game. He did not play well, so I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah. But overall, it was a good All-Star weekend, and thank you guys for listening to the first episode of this podcast. We're going to keep going with all this NBA news, so thank you guys again for listening.
See ya.